And hello, everybody. Welcome to the VR Broadcast Network, the VRBN. I knew Cutikai was ready. He was ready in the Discord for us to get this thing started. Hello, everyone. I am Skittles, and I'm joined here today with my awesome co-host, who is...
Donut Pirate, and I would just like to be the first to say happy Tuesday evening, and it is officially Verbin time up in here for the kids.
Woo-hoo. We're excited. We hope you guys are excited. See a couple people coming into the Twitch chat. Hopefully we'll get a hey, the teams are here. Great. We weren't sure how long we were gonna take before we got here. We were like, what are we gonna talk about? Well, we're just gonna talk to you, just say stuff. But we don't have to do that. We are going to be watching today the Coalition, Tyro's own, which is made up of Chuckles, Lemon Jello, Nagini, Overwritten CD, El Gadrin, Jose, and Jeff's Kindle. And they're going to be going up against a team called Outlanders. How very Scottish of them, eh?
Yeah, and if you're doing your due diligence and keeping track here, you'll notice that Natasha is in for Coalition tonight as a sub, so obviously not mentioned on the roster, but she'll be filling a spot for them, and should be interesting. I think they'll mesh pretty well.
Hey, that's my best friend. I'm excited. Obviously, I'm rooting for Tosh. Yay! But hopefully we get a good game, because nothing we love more than a close game that gives us a little something to cheer for. Romeo says, "Whoa, the sub!" And interestingly enough, Donut, I do believe this is the first time that she has ever subbed, ever. So we're gonna get to see her initiation into the sub VRML world in our cast tonight. How exciting!
Sure, Tasha.
Yes. And as you guys know, we're going to be going for an hour tonight. We've got 2 matches tonight, but let's get this party started and let's see who's going to take this first initial joust. It looks like Orange team is in there hot with a headbutt down to the other side of the arena, but let's see who's going to be able to pick it up. Orange takes it, but they're quickly stunned out, and now it's just a race to who can stun each other fastest. Back and forth as the Orange team takes back possession, and looks like they're going to post up and try and find a position to get this disc into the bubble. Blue team's going to do their best to kind of take opportunity and say, can we get this disc? Can we move it down? Looks like there's some movement on the other side. Nice little clear there. Very close to going almost in. And the stack races is on. You know, I think sometimes stack races are something that we'll see early in the game, especially in any level, really. But we'll see which stacks are going to be the fastest. And sometimes, depending on how they're playing, could definitely determine what's going to happen with the game. What do you think about the old-fashioned clear and chase, Donut? What do you think about that?
It's definitely has its times. As a newer player myself, it is definitely easy to fall into wanting to do it every single time you get the disc on defense, but I think Blue is picking their spots well so far. Orange is looking very quick with their stacks. They're going to definitely have to adjust to that. I've seen Blue come split apart on some stacks that got going pretty quick, but ultimately didn't stay together quite all the way down the field. But their bubble defense has held up pretty well, so still scoreless here.
Definitely agree. You know, clear and chase can work, but it only works in certain scenarios. So hopefully we'll see that Coalition, Tyrozone will be able to keep that attention here in the bubble. And there we go, instant ramen from the Orange team. First points on the board.
Nice. Torque, can we get the stats real quick? I want to see how many stuns we have so far, because this has seemed like a very stun-happy game. Hey, nice apps.
There we
No
go.
worries.
You were right. Wow, 16 on the blue, and I think it's 7 on orange.
There's that feels like quite a bit for just a couple minutes into this one.
2 minutes, yeah.
All right, so we have orange recovering here. They're going to be looking to add on and get a 2-score lead. Blue's still looking to kind of get back on defense a little quicker. That is a nice quick snapshot from Ramen for 3. Collected the disc very quickly and didn't hesitate to shoot. Was a pretty tight angle, so impressive there. It's orange by 5.
Yeah, definitely. I'm taking a quick look at Instant Ramen's information, and he doesn't have any past history with VRML, so this seems to be his first season, but coming out strong there for the orange team. It looks like there's a little bit of a hiccup in the tunnel from Coalition, and the orange team picks it back up. And who is it again? Instant Ramen 236. They're coming in pretty hot with 7-0.
On their team bio, Ramen is listed as not only the captain, but the coolest captain. And I did say that with question marks on purpose because that is how they wrote it. So, I don't know, he's the coolest captain, up for debate, but he's scoring a lot of points tonight as Blue is going to scuff that initial rollout. Looked like a split, and Orange is quick to it again. Melon has it on the floor. They're going to pull it back here and try and set up the offense. Nice bounce pass to top of clock, but couldn't stay anchored to make anything happen there. They're rotating the disc very well. Good stun there on clock to keep it from being a pretty much guaranteed score there. That was looking pretty dangerous. Tasha comes in, gets a nice clear. It's going towards right tunnel. Going to get a favorable... Oh, I jinxed it. It looked like a favorable bounce, but nice recovery there. And Blue is going to have a chance to chase. Bounces off Star right to Orange. Kind of unlucky there, but they're going to scuff the clear, so still a battle in the mid here. Chuck's going to have it. Immediately stolen. And Orange dumps it down right tunnel, and we'll chase again here. Blue looking pretty quick there. Tasha's going to dump it to the other side. Not a bad clear attempt there, given that she didn't know what was behind her, just putting it low and across the field instead of throwing it straight out, because it's a lot more likely to get intercepted if you're throwing it straight. So good choice there. And no team really settling in this point so far. A lot of transition, a lot of stack races, and the disc has been flying around. Blue right back to Orange, is still going down right tunnel. Another interception, floating down to right boot on Orange side, and they're going to look for a pass. Oh, wow, that looks like it was right between the hands. And bounces square off of the tunnel there. Orange is going to be first to it. Kind of a not good situation on offense. Smart by Toast there to pull it back out and look for a passing opportunity. Blue praying pretty smart and staying in their bubble defense, not getting baited out here. Good pressure by Tasha. Over to left pack there, going to be a little bit of juking on the Geo. Orange is slowing it down with the lead. Can't blame that strategy. That's a good one. A nice ender there, but missed the shot, and Tasha has it. Not much to do with it except dump it. Here's Chuck, see if they can dribble. And she had to get rid of it quick because Orange was pressuring there. And we'll see if this settles into anything or if we're going to go back to a lot of interceptions and chases. Blue has it. Good chance to set up the offense here. Not a lot of pressure from Orange immediately, and that pass is going to go just a little bit wide. It was going to a free-floating teammate, and those are always just a little bit tougher. Orange has it. They're all clumped up, so they're going to dump it in and see what happens. Going to miss shield, going to be low, and looks like Lemon collects it on the floor. He's looking for someone. Good job to possess there. Didn't have any immediate pressure, so he's looking for a teammate. That's a good reflex to have. Back to Orange ultimately. They will get the stun, but Orange is going to have numbers now that Blue committed a good amount of people forward, but they get back very quickly. And it's still not going to matter as Orange passes around pretty effectively, and they will score there. It's 9-0.
Wow, that was a lot longer. You see, it took them 2 minutes and 46 seconds to score that point. So I think that the blue team is getting a little bit more comfortable, keeping a possession a little bit longer. But I do think that they're going to have to work on adjusting, changing some things in exactly what they're doing in order to capitalize. Because as we mentioned before, sometimes teams do get very comfortable with clear and chase. But if you are the team that wants to play clear and chase, but you're not the fastest team, it falls apart. So
Exactly.
hopefully what we'll see is maybe a change in strategy. Usually, if your clear and chase doesn't work, killing stacks is your next best option. So maybe putting a person on stacks or trying to position a little bit differently. There's a lot of options that they can pick up, and I would love to see them get some points here, get some momentum, and then maybe even take some time between the rounds. Sometimes you just need to talk. The 60 seconds goes by really fast. And if you don't have exactly the momentum that you want, that could also be something to think about. Kudakai says on the Twitch chat, Outlanders do not look like a bronze team. I would agree with you, but if any of you have been playing this season in VRML, you know that the stats are completely wackadoodle. So a lot of things are messed up this season. I do see that a couple of their players, even like Purple Toast, have been playing VRML since season 4. So that was at least a year. And there they go. Another couple of points. 11-0. 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, and you made a good point. Blue's gonna just look to take some momentum here. Obviously, it would take a miracle to win this round. So a lot of times teams in a best of 3, as they try the left relay there, it's not gonna go too well. Instead of trying to really send it and play super aggressive for the off chance that you could get lucky and really outscore another team in the last few minutes, it's good to kind of settle down and try and build a little bit of momentum for the next round. Obviously, if you're down 1-0, it's a different story, but they have a chance here to kind of just play their game and hopefully get a stop, maybe get a score, and have something to go on for the next round, because long way to go here and plenty of time to adjust, so we'll see what happens. And Chuck's going to dump it down to Orange side. Orange still very quick to it. Good pressure there. Oh, Tasha almost made him pay for that. Almost got caught napping there. And that's the sort of thing, even though they didn't score there, just the fact that they were getting a good solid chance is what they want to start to build on here. Orange is going to swarm the disc, and Chuck has it, gets stunned pretty quickly, but Orange was clumped up there for a second, so Blue's going to have a chance to try and reset. Not quite connecting on that pass, but they're starting to get some pressure and starting to settle down in the offensive half. They just need to buy themselves a little more time. And Orange is going to have it here. Toast with a tight angle. He's going to just miss it. Comes down. Nice spot by Lemon. Good read off the ceiling, and he's going to dump it down. It's going to be on left nose here. Blue's chasing down. Orange has it. Going to send it down mid again, and we got about 30 seconds left, so Orange is going to take it, see if they have one more score in them or if they're just going to pass it around. And they're in bubble here. Good shot there. Just missed. Orange still has it. And look at that. Good discipline there in bubble defense. Blue's not compromising that, even though they might be feeling a little flustered getting outscored in this round. But they seem to be committing to their defense. And as this round comes to a close, we'll see if they can build on that. And definitely Orange playing very well. Ramen scoring some early goals, getting way on the board, and they just got a lot of momentum in those early few minutes, and they were able to just keep it. You didn't see them pressure too much the entire game, but they were able to possess, and then especially in transition, getting back on defense. That's where they were really excelling and just cutting down the chances for Blue.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, this is not a terrible time, like I mentioned before, to take a break, your time out and just reset. Sometimes you got to think, what did the team do that we weren't able to combat?
Right.
What was the problem? And if it's speed, you can't just say, "Oh, they were faster. Let's be faster." You can't really do things like that. But if you can't be faster, can be more strategic in a different way. Looks like we have a swap over. Instant Ramen jumped over to the blue team for some reason. Not really sure what that was about, but he went on back home to the orange team. And um I do not believe up, and here we go. Bling bling. All right. Looks like they are maybe trying to get um a substitute. They might be flipping one of their people in. Just for everybody who is listening, hey, all 15 of you. Remember that in any case with VRML, you are only allowed to have 5 people in the arena for no more than 30 seconds. I believe that's right. If I'm wrong, Torque, you just let me know. But I do believe it's no more than 30 seconds. If they have 5 players in the arena for more than 30 seconds and you have proof, I don't remember what the thing is, but it's not something good. So if you are on a team and you need to switch your players out, the absolute best way to do that is to have one of your players leave, then have the other one come in. That's just the safest way to make sure that you don't mess with any of the rules.
Boy, I didn't know that one. I'm in my first VRML season, and it is a pretty beefy rulebook. And as someone who's not captaining a team, I always appreciate those tips and learning about the little intricacies of the rulebook, because I think most teams probably aren't super gonna like right at 31 seconds gonna send a replay in, but those are the good
Mm.
things to know, and just so you can have good etiquette in the arena. So, hey, look at you knowing all the things.
You know, I've been a captain on two different teams in the past, year and a half, and you gotta know more. I don't know all of it. I'll just revert to asking Gary because Gary has memorized the entirety of the rule book, so to speak. If I ever have a question, but let's see if the blue team can get back. Looks like Instant Ramen is just throwing down today. He's the captain. He said he's going to score these points, and he's going to come out with the first two of the game.
Yeah, and it looks like I wasn't paying extremely close attention, but it looks like Orange didn't end up subbing. Was
Hmm.
not Finn wasn't in the first round, was he?
No, he
Uh,
wasn't.
okay, not Finn is their coach according to Torque in the chat. So I think he just
Interesting.
popped in to maybe comment on their first round. And
So here's another thing, real fast. Of course, when you're having your game casted, it does require that there are spectators. This bot is in here; it is spectating. But when you have spectators, because a team can say, "Hey, can we have somebody in with us?" Um, Most of the time, that means that that person is not going to come out. If they do come out, the problem is you never know if they had you muted or not. If they didn't have you muted, what we could have just seen, which unfortunately, because they did allow for the spectators, what we could have just seen was the coach coming in to tell them everything that the other team was talking about. Unfortunately, that is the risk that you take whenever you allow spectators. So keep that in mind. If your teams are saying, "Hey, can we get a spectator?" I promise they'll mute you. You always take a risk, and that is something that is written in the rule book. So keep that in mind.
yeah, definitely risk. And even if they're staying in spectate mode, I mean, there's always if a team really wanted to commit to it, they could like let their teammates know in Discord or another way. So just one
Mm-hmm.
of those things where definitely is pretty good etiquette, as that's a nice two there by Melon. Pretty good etiquette to allow spectators and not, be a total tryhard about it. But like you said, there's totally ways for that to be exploited. So just like
Mm-hmm.
knowing who you're playing and building good reputation for your own team, especially, is just one of those things where it makes it easier for everyone. So, all
Yeah.
right, here comes Blue looking for a right relay. Gonna get the first one off here. Nice job. Orange is not pressuring really at all here. Second pass is good, but ended up free floating. And look at that, Blue connecting all the way. Oh, is it loose? It was so close. That was a really good relay, and Orange sitting back looking to counter here. Blue still has a chance to recover, and it's just going to be through mid. Looked like Tasha was pretty close to grabbing that one. Orange is down quickly, and that'll be an easy two for them. Ramen again right off the top of clock. He scored two quick ones there, and it's 8-0 Orange at this point. Wow, I can't believe they scored 8 already. I kind of like stopped looking at the score. I thought it was just 4 or 6.
Two threes and a two comes in pretty fast.
That'll do it.
Definitely. And so I know you said that you're pretty new, but from your perspective, what are you gonna do from what you've seen? What's your first thought of how you're going to turn this around if you're on blue team?
For Blue, I think your comment on breaking stacks was really good. I also think, obviously, we can't hear their comms. They could be having really good comms and we wouldn't know, but against a team like this that's really out pressuring you, the red calls are super important for them to come early and to account for the comms delay, as well as the green calls, because when you're playing a team that's faster than you and you are used to not having a lot of time, when you are wide open but don't know what's behind you, if you don't get a green call from a teammate, it's going to be super hard for you to feel comfortable with the disc and be able to set anything up. So really just early callouts and trying to break stacks. And honestly, if you're getting beat when you're doing clear and chase, and then you switch to stack breaks and you're still getting beat, sometimes a team is just going to have you outplayed based on the matchups and the MMR not having been completely settled. And same with round one, even if round two is not going your way, it's, there's always a chance to build on stuff. There's always a chance to stay productive and work on what your team needs to work on, regardless of what the other team's doing.
Yeah, and that's something that also comes with time. And if we have, which I wasn't able to check, but if we have some really longer term players on the team, some that have a little bit more experience than others, that's something that also comes with experience. I was playing in a game the other day, and this kind of reminds me, we were way behind, and then we said, okay, how can we fix it? It was the exact same thing. They were faster than us, period. No questions asked. Wow.
Another one.
I'm not really sure what happened in the goal. Unfortunately, he was able to drop a 12 meter, 14 meter per second 3 right there to change it into 11-0. Very similar to the first round. So, as I mentioned before, there's never anything wrong with being able to take your break, but I would say, this is a good example of why we don't like spectators in games, because I'd have a pretty good feeling that there was probably a discussion from the captain, from the coach, about what was happening, and I'm seeing some things from the orange team that are changing, kind of look like reading, and so that's a really good thing to keep in mind as to whether you, as a captain or a team member, if you're on a VRML team, are going to choose to have spectators or not.
Yep. Oh, hold it back.
Well, this is not a pub, sir. Looks like Instant Ramen is scoring all the points today, including points against his own team.
It happens.
It really does sometimes. Well, you never know. Let's see if blue team can do something different from defense. Sure, why not? Let's rock and roll.
That's a rollout for blue. Looks like orange is gonna dump it and took a weird bounce. That might have... Wow. Was that calculated? Was that a set play off of... I don't even know what to call that surface there in mid. It's like they hit it off that slanted wall, and that's a tough bounce to like have a set play be based off of. But
I'm also going to make a claim here that I normally would not, but I'm going to claim that Instant Ramen is playing under a different count. I don't believe this is his first season in VRML. I was gonna put that out there. What we're seeing is some experienced gameplay, and sometimes that happens. One of the things that has been happening a lot this season, a lot of mix-ups. I mean, my team played we got a 20-0. Our last game was a double mercy, 20-0. We should have never been matched with them. That was unfortunate. But that's happening a lot, actually. And so we're kind of just having to deal with it. So anybody who's getting that happening to them, this is VRML growing pains right now. So thankfully, Coalition is still, they're pushing it, they're doing their best, and they're going, trying their best to hold the bubble. And that's fantastic, and I love to see it.
No, that's definitely the biggest positive I've seen from Coalition tonight, is definitely just the fact that no matter what the situation, they're getting back on defense and they're being disciplined with their positioning and bubble. And obviously breakdowns are going to happen no matter what, just based on the chaos that happens, especially after a couple passes in there. They've really committed to it. We haven't seen a lot of situations where outside of bubble we've had multiple people free floating and chasing the same disc, and that's really impressive. I think having 3 former Nugs players there, definitely that was one of our big things in the Tyro Academy, was really focusing on that discipline and bubble, and sounds like that is some lessons they have not forgotten, and I'm not surprised because I don't think Chuck would let them forget even if they wanted to. So he's definitely been a great captain for them so far.
Love it. I love to see it. And like I said, they have been doing such a good job. 2 minutes, trying to keep it. And at this point, It's that we don't want to get mercied thing. They got 60 seconds.
Minute
Right?
left, and
Yeah.
they need a 3 to do it, or 2 twos. So, it's the little things where you could say, "Hey, we got a minute left. Game's over, but let's make this into a little mini game and make a challenge for ourselves, and always have something you're working towards, even if it's a little goal that's not going to matter on
Yeah.
the final stat line. But we'll see what happens here. There's 34 seconds left.
And that was a fantastic juke there from in the middle. I'm not sure who it was, but it did a really good job getting around the defender and then throwing that downfield. So you can tell that Coalition is just fighting. They got 18 seconds left, and they say,
On
we
Chuck.
want this.
Oh man.
Come on, we can
Come
do
on,
this."
Beanie. Let's go.
Hey, there we
Beanie.
go. At the
Getting on the
end.
board.
Love it.
You love
Love
to
it.
see it. You absolutely
Hmm.
love to see it, and that's exactly what we're talking about. This round is going to come to an end, but like Blue scored last. I mean, it's not like the biggest, greatest thing you've ever seen, but it's definitely something to go on. And like, I know just from playing with a lot of these guys that they'll definitely be able to take that, learn from it, and just, it's going to be something that they can view as a positive and not, be totally disheartened after this. Because like you said, there's been a lot of very strange matchups and very lopsided ones. And I obviously have not a lot of context because this is my first season, but
Hmm.
I'm hoping it settles down some later on, but for now it's just like you said, growing pains. And Blue played end to end, and Orange played very well, and they were on top of it. But all in all, a really good game with both teams sticking to their games, and I thought it was fun to watch.
Definitely. Definitely. Everybody did a great job. Yeah, definite GG's for them. And remember, we are going to be moving right into our next game here soon, probably as soon as Tort gets an invite from the next team. Their game starts at 9:30. And I believe we are going to sound system. So we're shifting up a little bit. But like you were saying, Donut, with a game like this, you got to remember, and I try to remind myself the same thing. Um, you could put this team together, right? And you put your team together, and you've got people who've been playing for this many weeks, this many months, this many years, whatever it looks like. And those team members will create a team who accumulated, all of them together have about a 1, 2, 3, 4 ability level. Cool. If you end up in a situation like this where you're put up against people who have played either much longer, more time, um, any of these things, you can't let that get to you. Now,
Right.
there's a huge difference between just playing bad, because I know what that looks like. I get very frustrated. If you guys have ever played with me, you know, I can get very frustrated and tilt it pretty quickly. But that's when I'm playing badly. So there's a huge difference between losing a game because you're playing badly and losing a game because the other team is just more equipped to
Exactly.
play. That's something that you do your best, and you leave it at that, and you say, hey, if I'm playing and you've been playing 3 times as long as I have, you should be winning. There's no
Exactly.
excuse. But you put up the best fight that you can with the skills that you have. um
100%.
yeah. And yeah, I'm not sub, but I am casting into another screen. I wonder if the casting link filters the ads. I don't know. I guess you guys are seeing some ads today. Thanks for watching the ads. Appreciate you.
You know,
That happens. I actually subbed with my Prime account, so no
it's
ads.
the way to do it. I subbed with my parents' Prime account, so
Heyo, got
I
them.
don't think they're going to be on Twitch anytime soon. So
Or you can just do the sub. Just sub it up, right? Why not? We got a few subs. And if you are currently watching and you are not followed the VRBN, please feel free to. We are at like 119 followers, and I would love to get us up to that 120 mark. That would be
well,
pretty
that
cool.
would be amazing. And guys, I know you all know this, but a follow is free.
It is.
And as much as we would love you to keep the go live notifications on, you don't have to. We'll still take your follow if you can't commit to that.
But turn them on. because
yeah.
you're gonna want to see it.
Keep them on or else. That's
Keep
what I
them
meant
on.
to say.
Keep them on. Yeah, of course. Click that button. Hit that heart. Looks like Orange Team is looking for a league sub. Bum bum bum.
Rama. So
So yeah, the rules about that.
I was gonna just ask.
You get uh well, of course, in any scenario, you get 15 minutes until you have to forfeit the first round. This would still count in the same way. So the team has until the 10th minute. So they've changed the rules this season a little bit. So the first 10 minutes used to just be 15 and then there was your one round. But now the way they changed it a little bit is because every game you are given a 5-minute during game. So when the clock is running, that does not include between rounds. We're talking about during the game. You get a 5-minute during game just once pause. If
You
you,
have to take that consecutively?
what do you mean?
Like, can you take 2 minutes here and 3 minutes there?
No, you may not. A
There you
pause is
go.
a pause, whether it
I
is 10
figured.
seconds or whether the pause is 5 minutes. You get one pause when the clock is running during the game.
Or
And
non-technical issues, I would
there is
assume.
Torque giving us
Not,
the
don't get
correct.
caught up in the old technical timeout thing. The
Mhm.
technical timeouts don't exist. In the event you have
Okay.
a player with a ping issue, you are allowed to extend your one timeout for up to 15 minutes. But it's still just one timeout when the clock is running.
Here, now that we're getting into the weeds, let me ask a follow-up. What if you run into a ping issue and you've already taken your timeout?
Then you play with the ping issue. In theory, the rule is that players should be policing their own ping. So a player should look at the scoreboard and say, hey, my ping is too high, I got to leave. And the team plays through 3v4 until a substitute can come in or that player resolves their ping issue. That doesn't
Makes
always
sense.
happen. If a team, again with new rules this season, if a team chooses not to police their own ping issue, and there is a legitimate ping issue, the other team, even if they've used their pause, they can pause the match, get a mod to come in, and if the mod agrees that there's a ping issue, the team with the ping issue will lose their timeout.
I guess
Okay.
if they've already used it, it probably ends up in some AP.
Yes,
Be like a
if they
double
if
timeout
they
use.
if they use if them forfeiting a timeout results in them having used more than one timeout, then that becomes an illegal timeout, and the normal rules about illegal timeouts apply.
Like a tech in basketball.
Yes. Now keep in
Sure.
mind the other part of the illegal timeout rule is that if the other team takes an illegal timeout and you know it's illegal, you are always free to unpause at any moment.
Wow.
You don't have to sit there and wait for them. If they've used their one pause and they take a second pause for any reason, you can just hit unpause. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That is
just be
good to
careful
know.
for all of you in the bronze and silver into gold areas. A lot of captains don't know those things because they didn't read the rules because they're like 13. And because of that, you might end up in a little argument. But it looks like the orange team has found themselves a sub. I guess it was Hunter God that popped in there. Fantastic. So let's rock and roll. I'm gonna let Donut take this initial joust and
All right.
let's do it.
Here we go. I mean, we're only running 5 minutes behind here, so good job finding the sub quickly. Gonna be down to the blue end. Orange is gonna collect it and set up. And let me just say, these players are gonna be a little fast-paced, and I'm gonna definitely feel challenged here on the mic. This is my first official stream. Orange is gonna dump it in, bounce past the top clock, and they're playing pretty quick, pretty snappy. So I know you've been around the block, Skittles, but I'm gonna be on my toes tonight.
Nah, you're gonna do great. That was a really good shot from the clock. I'm a huge fan of clock shots. Very good goalies grab them, but most cannot. So we're gonna see. Looks like a nice little right relay here from Sound System, and he's gonna come up underneath the boot, and let's see if he can back it up a little bit. I like the patience quite a bit, but unfortunately, right at the moment when the defender was coming in to stun. There's something really beautiful about higher level gameplay that has a lot to do with patience.
Nice. That's my coach.
Martini with 2 points. He was excited. We played a little bit earlier today in a Tyro thing, and he was like, I'm playing tonight. Because I don't know. They rotate a lot on sound system, so he's excited to be in there. I think Ryden's still hurt, so let's see what Martini can do. Blue team.
All right, Orange with the disc here, and just something as a new player that I noticed on that right relay by Blue is, first of all, that first pass was very much in stride. It didn't waste any time, and that obviously takes a lot of practice, good QB, in order to do that. And the second thing was the second pass to get it to Pack was a bounce pass right off the tunnel, right near where the first person received the disc. So that created a little bit more space away from that back stack. And it's just those little things that might make all the difference on stuff like that. And obviously these guys are skilled enough that they've repeated that over and over, and it looked really clean. So I was impressed by that. I've never seen, especially that bounce pass on a relay, and it looked real clean to me. As let's see, disc is going to be loose here. Blue collects, looking to attack here. Got center floor. They're going to reset back to double diamond. Free floating here, looking for options. Cross floor underneath. Not a lot of angles. Martini gets stunned out. Blue collects again. Backs it out. Pressure's coming. Gets stunned. And didn't quite realize the pressure was coming in time. Orange is going to dump it down. Bad bounce off of, looks like Ghost there. No one home. Martini collects. He's got plenty of time here. He's going to try and clear it down mid. Bounce pass off floor. It's going to get there. It slows down though. Blue to it. Do they have the 3? It's open and just dinged. Bottom quadrant there, and still going to be floating. Cut pass opportunity doesn't quite go as planned, but looks like Blue's going to collect. And Orange committed a lot of players there to that loose disc, so thank goodness they collected it, because they were going to be in trouble if Blue was able to come away with that one. And they will be on the attack now to Bowtie. Good little slap away there by Knight, and Martini's looking forward to create some space, doing a little bit of his favorite thing, which is shielding for his teammates. And they're going to reset back here. They can't quite push it through mid until now. It's going to be free on the right side near Pack. Blue has it. Stack coming. Good juke there. Going to reset back near station. Cross boot. Anchored. Shot. Scored. So they finally connected there. And it looked like Martini might be in a little bit of trouble if he wasn't able to catch the pass and find his anchor on boot quickly. But he made it happen. And that gave him the momentum he needed to push the one-on-one with good shot speed and give Blue the lead here.
Yeah, that was fantastic. They're doing such a good job. The resets are great. The patience is so important, especially at this level. You're seeing a lot of that kind of movement that's extremely necessary when you get into that gold, platinum, and up type level. And they're taking advantage of the shifts in possession, which you have to. The one thing about this game, if you are unfamiliar, with a dunk, Nolan from the assist on Knight. One of the things you got to realize about this game is that because of the way that it's kind of built, it is, what's the word? Offense heavy. So
Yes.
usually it's more of an offense, like the offense has a better chance because you have possession. But the problem is that teams will allow themselves to lose possession so easily by not, being patient, pushing too quickly, or anything, or taking, maybe taking shots that we shouldn't take, right? We have to try our best to keep possession as long as possible. Do you have to score in 10 seconds? Not unless the clock has 10 seconds left on it, right? Maybe instead we take an extra second.
There.
Yeah, fantastic. They're doing a great job. Both teams are doing a fantastic job. I'm seeing a
Is
lot.
that bounce off bottom pyramid? Is that what I just saw?
It's possible, but I also am noticing there are 5 players on the orange team, and that has to not happen. So I don't know if one of their players appeared, but somebody's gonna have to go bye-bye, and
I think
very
that's
quickly.
probably most likely.
Okay,
Is
so
there a change there?
it looks like the captain has gone to the other side to tell them what's going on. I'm not really sure. But what I do know is you can't have 5 players. And once again, everyone, remember to read the rules. Even if you're not a captain, if you're just on the team, please make sure that you know the rules because there are a lot of them. And all of us together as a team, we can make sure that we know. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier. We see that the pause was taken 50 seconds ago, and the person appeared before that round ended. So you can tell that they have had 5 players in the arena for more than 60 seconds. As to whether the other team's going to say anything, who knows? I leave that up to Nolan because Nolan is Mr. VRML man, Maudie man. So now that they have kicked, okay, that must have been the dude that was missing for their game.
I think the sub dropped.
Yeah, looks like it. And also in that scenario, for anybody that doesn't know, if a sub does play for you, you should still put them in at the end. Even if they just play a little bit for you. Whenever you're putting in your information on who played for you, you can also say that a sub, blah, 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 played for your team. Just so that they get credit. And
anyway, yeah, we're finally playing again here. Open 3 and Blue had missed a couple open ones. They weren't all the easiest ones, but I think the last open 3 they took was one they definitely wanted to have, and this one they are not going to miss. Going to go up 11-2 here. And they're probably not feeling too bad about the switching on orange because they seem to be playing pretty well regardless. So they're probably just looking to stick to their game, keep the momentum here.
So I'm going to jump in here. I want to just jump in here, Skit, and slight correction for our audience there is keep in mind league subs have to play a full round in order to get credit for playing in a match. So that league sub will not get credit for playing this match.
That's highly disappointing. Riot! 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 That's very disappointing, especially because you could have possibly gotten in to sub for a different game. So yeah, probably why he didn't want to leave.
Yep.
I don't want to leave. Anyway, you do what you gotta do, and it looks like they are coming in trying to take these points, and unfortunately, it is not quite happening. And I think Orange Team is going to try to pick this up. And you know what? Maybe they're looking to try and get some momentum because now that they have their full team, they're like, okay, well, maybe we can do something about this. And they're doing a great job with their clear chase, but just hasn't turned into anything quite yet. Fantastic steal from Martini as he tries to pass it backwards, and then they're passing it sideways, and they're passing it forward, just trying to get it. Keep possession. As I was mentioning before, the possession is so important. And also quality clears. One of the things that I love to do, I don't know about you guys, but I am a big fan. When I do my practice, nice 3 from Darkuri. When I do my personal practice, I also practice clears. Because sometimes we don't think about that. We're like, oh, I take shots and stuff from geos. But clears are really important because if you can't accurately clear, you can't do what maybe your team needs you to do if they have a stack. So something else to practice.
Speaking of taking shots, Skit, Tasha just sent you a hydrate, so you need to go ahead and get you something to drink real quick. I'll jump in and give you a
shot. Here you go. Ready?
I think on that last score by Orange, there had to have been some stack breaks on the other end. I didn't actually catch it, but just based on how long it took Blue to get back, I think Orange did a really good job stunning and creating some time for their offense, which otherwise has struggled to kind of settle in. They've been clumping up a little bit. I by far have no means the best analysis, but I have noticed that there have been some times when they have 3 people very close to disc and not even in obvious screening situations. But who knows, as they score another 3 here and bring it within 3, there's a minute 19 left, and maybe this meatball guy is, maybe he's their X factor. He's the one who jumped in, right?
Yep. And also I want to point out what we just saw there. If you realize what just happened there on the boot, you realize that's upper level thinking. This team was down by 6 points. He got onto the boot, then reared backwards to grab the 3.
Yep.
And that was beautiful because when you're down, you know what you got to do. I mean, you need 6 points. You got a minute and a half. 3 2s takes a whole lot longer considering how long it takes to get into the tunnels. You know, you got 15 seconds or so between score and, you know, opening of the tunnel again. So that can really mess with your timing, but absolutely love that. get comfortable with that.
Great
Um,
situational thinking there. Blue with a great answer to kind of get the momentum back and put this thing away. It was getting a little hairy there. I mean, different teams obviously play this very different ways, but when you're up, I think at one point they were up 9 with not too long to go, and even with 6, as they'll score another 2 there, put this thing away for good, they'll win by 7. But Orange was able to bring it within 3, albeit very briefly, because like Blue was, still playing their game. I don't think they really adjusted to say, hey, like we're up, we want to play a little more defensively. They were, and that's not necessarily a bad decision if you want to commit to your offense because it's working and keep trying to score. But the risk you run is, hey, if Orange can get a lucky break, get a lucky bounce, and the net's going to be
yeah.
open, then I mean, the increments they need to get back in the game are going to be much fewer if they can hit those threes. So Blue ultimately didn't pay for it, but it did get a little closer than you would have expected based on how well they were playing the rest of the round.
I also want to point out something that I saw when we had those stats up. This is, this is a team sport, right? And one of the things that is really important about team sports is playing as a team. Check out the assist numbers. The
Oh, wow.
difference in the game, like what you're seeing here is you're seeing the orange team is doing a lot of taking it in, doing it themselves. I don't think they had a lot of open threes. I think they just kind of manpowered it in there. But you're noticing 7 assists. That's amazing. And what did they have? 15 points.
Yeah.
So all of the points were assisted, which is beautiful. That's absolutely fantastic. Teamwork is how you win this game.
Yeah, even those open threes would have been assisted. That just means someone's finding someone else who has the angle and not trying to free float their way and waste a bunch of time to get there. So great by Blue. I think they'll have a good amount of momentum here as that one's going to ding very close. Based on the fact that it's almost tougher for Orange to get that close to being back in the game only to let it slip than if it was just to be Blue all the way. But they did start to get on their game there, so I'm not counting them out by any means, and we'll see what happens here. Blue's going to clear it through right tunnel, and Orange trying to collect. Knight doing a good job backing up his teammate who got stunned there. Blue has it in deep. They got options going for stuns on goal. It's not going to matter. The stun didn't get there in time, but great shot selection by Dark, and it's going to be 2-0 Blue here.
Nice. And look, another assist. That makes 8. Fantastic movement there from Sound System. And I agree with you. I think that the other team, they did a great job, especially after the sub debacle. So I think if they can just bring back that same kind of chemistry that they had in the last 5 minutes or so, before things started to fall apart, they're gonna find that this will be a much closer game.
Yeah, and speaking of the sub debacle, take a look in the Twitch chat. We got some quality investigative journalism happening, and it looks like, is Meatball the one that subbed in, and is he not on their team either? Oh, Helpful isn't on their team page. So,
Interesting. Oh no!
wow.
Absolutely got to
Oh,
clip that one. That one is going up on the site. Magnet hands with too many magnets.
Yeah, too many.
Oh,
That's too
no.
magnetic. The magnet
He's
right
gonna
into the
replay
goal.
it too.
He's gonna love that one. And that happens sometimes. I've been in that same spot and you didn't think you're like, I didn't think I had the auto grab on and I did, or like you headbutted in, you didn't mean to. Stuff happens when you get a little close to the goal.
It sure does.
And I'm sure that the orange team is pretty happy about that right now.
Definitely. Seeing my teammate Corny Witch in the chat. Love to see it.
Hello. Oh, and as mentioned earlier, shout out to Chili Cow for the sub. Thank you so much. You are our 13th sub. We love it. We appreciate it. And happy no ads, as has been mentioned a few times before.
Our benefits. It's not just a cosmetic thing, guys. Come on.
Exactly. And you can put in all the cute little emojis. They're so adorable. Stickers? I don't know what they're called. Whatever.
See, that's what we care about these days. In all our games and all of our platforms, we want those those little cosmetic items that we could just spam. There's nothing more to life than that. So get your
Something like
stub
that.
in and start spamming emojis. We won't even moderate you unless you get real bad.
Just hit them all. Just keep spamming, and
Oh
then
yeah.
it'll probably auto kill you
Yeah, yeah. If
after that.
auto mod gets you, then sorry, there's nothing we can do.
There is some fantastic stuff happening right here,
Ooh,
though.
what?
Oh,
He
Martini with
got
the
the
grab.
stun. Way to
Can.
follow his shot there.
And you know what? That's a great example of never stop. The point is like sometimes if you're on the offense and you're doing it and they save it, boom, just try and give back. Try and do as much as you can. Also, if you're on the defense and you grab it, you need to get rid of that disc as humanly fast as possible. Because that happens way too much.
So tough as a goalie because every time you slap it so quickly away, in the back of your head, you're always thinking, oh man, if I could just take a half second, I could put this disc in a better spot for my team. But ultimately, nice. Right off the edge of the rim there. That was a great shot. Ultimately, if you're doing that every time, there are going to be situations where you pay for it because you didn't have that time. And there will be times where you slap it when you realize right after that, oh, I could have held it just for a split second and gotten a better clear, but just one of those things where you'll never get it right every time, and sometimes you pay for it like we just saw.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic turnaround by Martini, throwing that straight on the fadeaway. Knight was positioned in just the right place. Man, gotta love it.
Stuff by Blue, they're looking like they're going to try and take this in 2 rounds, run away with it. I know Orange had a little run there in the end of the first round, so we'll see what happens. But Blue seems like they've really accounted for Orange's play style, and they're countering it very well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them run away with this one.
Yeah, and the one thing that I'm noticing from Orange is a lack of patience. I know that the blue team's doing a great job pressuring so that there's not a lot of time to be patient. But even then, losing your patience completely, like that right there, he wasn't
totally
pressured.
green.
He wasn't pressured at all. So he had a much better chance to position himself for a quality clear. Oh, Martini.
Brutal.
Clip it. Clip it. No, I'm just kidding. That's another thing. That one that's a Skittles thing right there. I will definitely be a little bit over what's the word? Just a little too much. Just a little too excited. You're like, yeah, I'm going in. I was playing in a game the other day and I was trying to hit top pocket and I missed top pocket 6 times in a row. And then I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done for the day. That was a
There are
fantastic
3 other
clear.
pockets, you know.
You know, you're right.
I'm sure they'd love some attention.
You're right. They would love some attention. But as you notice there, even though it kind of got missed in the middle, he did a great job of stopping, figuring out where he was, and then saying, I have time to take a good quality clear that doesn't have to be forceful and you know, the faster you take your clear and the more wild you take it, the better chance it is it's going to hit one of these doggone geos and bounce right back into your side of the arena.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing we don't.
So easy to do, and if you're recovering the disc in your defensive bubble and you're green and you get that call out, obviously it's on your teammates to let you know. Nice 3 there by Nolan. It's on your teammates to let you know that you're green, because at the end of the day, if you're feeling some pressure and they don't let you know, like, that's not on you. But if you know you're green,
hey,
like,
I got something for you. I got something for you, Donut, though.
Okay.
One of the things I can remember that I was told by a pretty much master level player who's trained many other players is that getting a red call or a green call is a privilege. Because if you get, I think it's something I want. Nice shot, nice 3 from Knight all the way 17 meters out. That was beautiful. If we get too comfortable with it, we will stop using our own senses, and then we'll think that we don't have to look around. We just have to allow everyone else to tell us. So while yes, team is important, and yes, your team oh no! Knight has just decided that he is tuned in He's tuned in and he's ready. So we love red calls. We love green calls. We love teammates who give those calls. But at the end of the day, we also have to take some responsibility because we do have a head that works on a swivel.
I like that philosophy.
Oh no!
Wow, another one. They are 2 away from the Mercy here. I think they might get there. Just one of those things where it's kind of a happy medium of, yeah, you're responsible. There's no reason you can't look around. You shouldn't be making a total beeline for the disc without looking around at all. But at the same time, like, you gotta have a little bit of accountability with your team, and like, your team knows to make callouts, but it can be tough, especially in games where you're not playing like you want to, where the comms get a little slow, and just keeping everyone accountable to say, like, hey, we need some more callouts, and like, I should still be looking around to make sure I'm clear, but do me some favors here. You're not always going to be able to have someone who's going to be at the perfect line of sight to give you a great callout, but there's a reason they're so key to communications in this game, and that'll do it.
There it is. Ended it out 22-2. Definitely a different change from that first round, and great job from Sound System coming in with a Mercy in their second round, 22-2. As we noticed, look at that. They came out with 9 assists. They had 100% of the assists. They were doing a fantastic job in the goals. 7, 3 from the other side. It seems like, unfortunate for the other team, for the orange team, they might have had some, you can get a little flustered when that whole substitute thing happens, especially if someone comes in ice cold. That can really be difficult for a team, and sometimes you just can't come back from that type of stuff. But fantastic job from both teams, is trying to do their best to give us something exciting to watch. Mercy. But yeah, great set of games tonight.
Definitely, it was fun.
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for watching and supporting us in our first ever back-to-back cast. Yes.
For real?
Yeah,
Awesome.
we've had single ones, and we had like one that was like a half an hour apart, so it canceled, but they turned off one and then came back 30 minutes later. But this is the first time that we've had, and we've kept somewhere between 15 and 18 people hanging with us this whole time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching and supporting. I know, as someone who has had plenty of games casted, that it always means a lot to me when people I know watch me play.
Definitely.
That's such a cool thing. So thank you guys for supporting our TyroFam, and for listening to us. Blah 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 away for 60. For how long did we cast? 40 minutes?
Hey,
Plus
just be glad
whatever.
that there wasn't a little bit of a break between games, because then it would have been the improv show, and I don't know. Could have got
We would have
ugly.
figured it out. Who knows? We would have done something. Martini already in the chat.
Wow.
The amount of twos I
Damn.
missed. I mean,
Good
the
job,
good part
coach.
is you can go look at it, Martini. Now you can go watch. But you did dunk, so we love it.
And Torque's giving him grief. Everything's right with the world.
Everything is right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on the VR Broadcast Network. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your follows. We appreciate your subscribes. We appreciate you. That's all for me tonight. I am Skittles, joined here with...
Donut Pirate.
And we hope you'll come back next time. Thanks, everybody.